They're cursed by Allah. أُولَٰئِكَ يَلْعَنُهُمُ اللَّهُ. And they're cursed by everyone who would curse. وَيَلْعَنُهُمُ اللَّاعِنُونَ. All the people who would suffer as a result of our not conveying that message, they will curse us. Curse us in this life, curse us in the next life. This is a severe warning. Something we really should consider. Who wants to be under the curse of Allah? Who feels that he can stand in the curse of Allah? We should all shudder when we hear such verses. If we don't, if such verses don't touch us and make us, feel that we have not been fulfilling our responsibility here, ashamed to stand before Allah, it means that our hearts have become hard. Our hearts have hardened. Allah talks about those whose hearts have become hard. Means that we are lost. We're lost. We are the walking dead in this life. The verses of Allah have no effect on our hearts. And something so severe as this. And Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, as collected in Abu Dawood, Sunan Abi Dawood, and An-Nasa'i, authentically, stated, "Man katama ilman aljamahu Allah bilijamin min nar." And whoever hides knowledge will be branded with that knowledge, with a branding iron from the hellfire. This is telling us that the consequence of not conveying the word of Allah is hell for us. It is a major sin. It is a major sin. Because whenever you have the consequence of an action being the hellfire, this is telling us that this is a compulsory duty which we have not fulfilled, which then becomes a major sin, major haram. And some people will say, well, these people, they're not interested. They really don't want to know about Islam. Whenever I try to say anything, they just, turn away. They're not interested. They don't show any kind of concern. They don't even believe in God or whatever. Well, Allah tells us in Surah Al Imran, verse 20, وَإِن تَوَلَّوْا فَإِنَّمَا عَلَيْكَ الْبَلَاغُ. If they turn away, what is on you is only to convey the message. That's all. What is your responsibility? Is to convey the message. If they turn away, it's on them. Our duty is not to make them guided, because إِنَّكَ لَن تَهْدِي مَنْ أَحْبَبْتَ. You cannot guide the ones that you love. It's Allah who guides who He wishes. And He guides those who sincerely want guidance. But we cannot judge people to say, well, this one wants guidance, that one doesn't really want guidance. We don't know what is in the hearts of people. Our duty is only to convey the message. As long as people are willing to listen, then we continue to convey. We don't stop. We never give up on anyone as long as they still are willing to listen. We don't give up on them, until they die. When they die, finish. Okay, the door is closed. We keep on striving to convey that message to them in a variety of different ways. If it doesn't work one way, you try another way. It doesn't work that way, you try another way. But you don't give up. Personally, I can say I accepted Islam in 1972. Alhamdulillah. My parents didn't accept Islam until 1994. 22 years later. And believe me, I was giving them dawah in those 22 years. You know. But that's what it took. The point is that if I gave up, because of course when I first came in Islam, I had that, initial awareness, of how astray my life had been and everything was now very clear. And I brought that to my parents, and they rejected it, or they weren't ready to accept it. They didn't reject it in the sense of saying, okay, it's no good, so on. No, it's good for you. It's good. We see it can benefit you, but, give us a chance to do our own thing, right? So they weren't, willing to accept it. So, I could have been discouraged and just given up and felt, oh, well, what's the point? They're not interested. But no. I kept on trying with them this way, that way, another way. And that's how we have to be. We cannot give up simply because people do not accept Islam after we have given it to them. In the Da'wah Center, which I am a director of in Dubai, we have approximately 25 people accepting Islam every month. Alhamdulillah. The vast majority of that 25 are not people who we directly have given da'wah to, but people who somebody gave a little bit of da'wah here, somebody else gave them a little bit of da'wah, somebody gave them a little, along the way until finally, they bumped into us and we gave them the final push. Right? But we didn't start the da'wah with them. The vast majority of them were given da'wah from a number of other different sources before they finally, came across us. And many people we give da'wah to, they go and we never see them again. We don't know what happened. Because let's say only a very small percentage, maybe only about 10 or 15% of them, we can say, we started the da'wah with them from zero and took them all the way to their accepting Islam, by Allah's grace. Only a small percentage. The vast majority is from the efforts of many others that they came in contact with. And as I said, many we give da'wah to, when they go, we don't see them again. Sometimes we hear later on, 2 years later, 3 years later, we run into the person, hey, remember me? We had come so and so, so they had already accepted Islam somewhere else, and here they were practicing. So our duty is just to convey the message, to give them that seed. It is on them, it is by the will of Allah, whether that seed will grow amongst them and flower into Islam, or whether it dies. Our duty is just to convey the message. And when we are conveying the message, we should be aware of where to begin. What should be our focus? And the focus is mentioned in a hadith narrated by Ibn Abbas, in which he said, لما بعث النبي معاذا نحو اليمن قال له, when the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ sent Mu'adh ibn Jabal as the governor to Yemen, he said to him, إنك تقدم على قوم من أهل الكتاب فليكن أول ما تدعوهم إليه أن يوحدوا الله تعالى. You are coming to a people from among the people of the book. So let the first thing that you call them to be that they establish the oneness of Allah. And yuwahidullah ta'ala. That is the focus. That is the key. That is salvation. Salvation lies in them recognizing the oneness of Allah. So that has to be the core of our da'wah. Now, when we are giving da'wah in the variety of